Madam Speaker. It's 4 o'clock on April 13th, and this is the Cape Cod Regional Government Assembly of Delegates Standing Committee on Governmental Affairs and Rules. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, this meeting of the Barnstable County Assembly of Delegates Standing Committee on Governmental Affairs and Rules will be conducted via remote means only in accordance with applicable law. Members of the public may watch the meeting through live real-time broadcast at www.youtube.com/user/Barnstable County. A public participation guide and meeting documents are available in advance at www.capecod.gov. The County of Barnstable does not discriminate in the administration of its programs or activities on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, disability, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or other category protected by state and federal anti-discrimination laws and regulations. Reasonable accommodations for people with disabilities are available upon request. For more information or file a complaint, please contact Christina Marchak, Barnstable County ADA Non-Discrimination Coordinator at jmarczak@capecod.gov. Call 508-375-6646 or visit www.capecod.gov. Members of the public may also attend the meeting remotely through Microsoft Teams, and that information is all available at the website. Back to you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. For opening ceremonies, let's do a moment of silence in honor of our troops who have died in service to our country and all those who are serving our country in the armed forces. Okay, and now if we'll all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Anybody else? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation under God, liberty and justice for all. Okay. Before we do the roll call, I just want to say that this is a very short meeting. There is a very robust finance meeting starting exactly at 4. So the two items that we have will be going through fairly quickly. They're pretty simple, but I just wanted people to understand that we are on a tight timetable. And Clerk Fletcher, would you do the roll call, please?
Yes, Madam Clerk. Delegate Gasson?
Here.
Delegate Green?
Here.
Delegate Harder?
Here.
Delegate Killian?
Here.
Dean Oman?
Here.
Delegate O'Malley?
Here.
Speaker Warner?
Here.
I believe that's everybody, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The first resolution that we will be looking at today is Resolution 2026-01, which amends the Manual of Governments on Assembly Government Affairs and Rules Committee Alternatives. And that is something that we had addressed, or that we had talked a little bit about in the beginning of one of the other meetings a couple of weeks ago, where we were trying to take a look at how we were running certain things and see if there wasn't a more modified and simpler way to do it so that we didn't quite take as long in the beginning and the openings. And that is basically what this would allow, is that we might be able to put a few of the roll calls and the various items which require the roll calls together, so that we don't have to do 15 roll calls before we get into the actual meat of the meeting. Do I have an opinion? Oh, I guess we should first put it on the floor. Does somebody want to put it on the floor? Oh, is that Elizabeth? Hi, Delegate Harder.
Hi.
And I'll second it.
I'll put it on the floor, but 2 is the one about, number 1 is about the meetings. Number 2 is the one about the agenda order. So I don't know if you want to do
Number 1.
proposed resolution number 1. is the makeup of committees.
Right, alternates, basically.
Right, letting alternates and others and alternates and vice chairs and the deputy speaker serve on this committee. Should the
That's,
needs
that,
arise.
I have
That's
that as
number
item
one.
number 7.
Well, I think we
Um,
just got, I'm sorry, I think we just got reversed. So you described the second resolution, Madam Speaker. And I think the first one is about alternates in this committee. The second one is the one you described, but that's okay. We've got too many things on today. I'm having trouble keeping them
So-
straight. Yeah.
Whichever one
Okay,
you want
so-
me to move, I will so move.
Sure.
for
Go ahead and
discussion.
move go ahead. So the first one, as you pointed out, involves the fact that we learned that usually the deputy speaker, as a chair of a committee, has a seat on this particular committee, but we discovered that Deputy Speaker Frizel does not, and so we want to be sure that that person has an opportunity to participate on this particular forum, and also if there's somebody who can't, that they can step in and take that particular position. So there you go, Elizabeth. Delegate Harder,
So
thank you.
moved. So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I will say,
Okay.
yeah,
Do we have any discussion? Delegate O'Malley?
I think this is an eminently sensible change in policy. I think it deserves to be incorporated. I'll vote for it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, let's put it to a vote. Clerk
So,
Fletcher, would you please do a roll call?
Sure. Delegate Gessen,
Yes.
Delegate Green,
Yes.
Delegate Harder,
Yes.
Delegate Killian,
Yes.
Dean Omen,
Yes.
Delegate O'Malley,
Yes,
Speaker Warner.
Yes.
That's unanimous, Madam Speaker.
Okay,
All right.
it passes. And the second one, which is the one that I described for the first, I don't know why they're mixed up on mine. That for the committees to have alternates, particularly
No.
no, wait, a minute, it's amending.
We just did it. I know it's confusing because we're trying to do this so fast. We did the committees. Now we're on resolution 2 about
Trying to streamline
how we're streamlining the
opening.
meetings, the opening
Yeah.
of our
Right.
meetings. So I will
Okay.
move proposed resolution number 2 for discussion.
Thank you. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
And then
I think this is but yes, Delegate Harder.
I just have a question. The standing committee of the whole. This standing committee shall consist of the members of the assembly acting as a quasi committee of the whole.
I can answer that.
Okay, go ahead, Clerk Fletcher.
Yeah, under Robert's rules, there are two different things, and quasi committee of the whole is less formal. Like if you were in committee of the whole, you'd appoint a chair of the whole. It's really for a much larger body. And so the gist of it is allowing the assembly to consider things informally. So when the assembly convenes, you have debate rules. When you're having presentations or asking and answering questions during committee of the whole, it's different. That's the main distinction, is that you're not formally debating, that people who are not part of the assembly can participate. That's the reason why you'd have that distinction. It's informal consideration.
Got it.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. Delegate Gessen.
Yes, the question I have is, I remember a few months ago, we were considering a proposal for, in essence, if the deputy speaker isn't able to be there and the speaker isn't able to be there, about appointing the longest serving delegate to be presiding over the meeting. Obviously, that's not part of this proposal, but I was wondering, is that something, Madam Speaker, that you're looking to bring in front of us at a certain point? Since we're in this housekeeping process, or have we closed the book on that?
I thought that, thank you for the question. I thought that, that particular item had, basically been asked and answered based on the fact that that's how it always was in the past. And that's not a good answer, but that this was, it just went by who was ever the next person or the next longest person in line that was at the meeting. If you feel that we need to add that in as a part of this, we certainly could add an amendment. Is that not correct, Clerk Owen, Fletcher?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I know I also had contact with another delegate who said, because this also has the order of business in it, who suggested that maybe we shouldn't be doing moments of silence for troops that we're serving and only moments of silence for folks that had given their life in service. If we're dealing with these things, I mean, certainly anybody can add, add an amendment to this and see if people are willing to support it. But yeah, we're dealing with 3 or 4 different rules topics. I think it's germane because we're talking about different changes for meetings, but that's up to all of you whether you'd want to do that or not in this thing or introduce something different. That I
Okay,
can't speak
Delegate
to.
Harder?
I remember having a long discussion about, well, if 2 people have served the amount of time, then it's the oldest person of the 2 who had served the longest time. So I thought we had handled that. I thought
I
we
did
had
too.
taken care of that. And in terms of the moment of silence, I mean, I certainly think of Dan every time we do the moment of silence. So I'm not sure I want to take out those serving, but I'd be perfectly happy just to have a moment of silence in honor of America at this point. I think we could use that. Anyway, that's me.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Gessen?
And I could definitely be corrected if I'm wrong. So no worries there. But to my memory, I think Delegate Killian and Delegate Frederickson in the meeting had some concerns, and we ended up postponing to time indefinite the conversation about who is going to serve in the absence of a speaker and a deputy speaker because they had some language concerns. So not to put Delegate Killian on the spot, but I remember that was an issue that we were hoping to tackle in the future once we got people's birthday order squared away, or
Okay.
something along those lines.
Delegate Killian, could you possibly enlighten us?
The clerk immediately put his hand up, so I think he probably can shed a little light on this.
Oh, okay.
I understood he got, I think we voted that down. I'd have to double check. I'm not sure. But I'll take a jaunt right now and try to figure it out while you guys are discussing this.
Okay. Delegate O'Malley?
Simply to say, yes, we did talk about that, and it seems, it's my recollection that we agreed on that formula, longest serving, or in case they'd each done 5, 6 terms, whatever, the earlier birthday. But I know we didn't memorialize it. We didn't adopt it into standard of policy. So maybe it's time to do that.
Okay, so would anyone like to put an amendment to the resolution we're looking at right now?
I would move to recommend the language that was originally proposed in the formula described. Obviously pending the clerk providing us with the language.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Do we have any more discussion? Delegate O'Malley?
Yes, I'm going to propose an amendment to on line 3 and 4 to read a moment of silence to honor our troops who have died in the service to our country, period.
Point of order.
Yes, go ahead, Dean Omen.
Delegate Gessen has an amendment already on the table. Yeah, it's been
Thank you.
seconded.
Yes, let's deal with
That's
Delegate
correct.
Gessen first, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, go ahead, Delegate Killian.
Yeah, I would just like to, before we discuss this and vote on this amendment, go back to Clerk Fletcher, because I do recollect, I thought we voted this and voted it down, and I'd like to go back and kind of review that discussion before we put this amendment back in.
Okay, so we're going to put this on hold until the next meeting that we do of the Governmental Affairs and Rules Committee.
Well,
I think we would need a motion to that effect, Delegate Warner, and I personally would still vote in support of introducing that language, but I would be, again, curious to hear from delegates who did vote against this on what their concerns were. Because I remember
Okay,
us a lengthy discussion on the floor of the assembly about what that language should be, working through the formula, and then still resulting with that getting voted down. So I would be curious what modified language in the months preceding delegates have thought of.
okay. Delegate O'Malley.
Are we going to stay with this? Are we accepting an amendment and just holding the other one for the time being?
Yes, you're holding the other one for the time being. Delegate Frizel.
Madam Speaker. So I was just thinking that, rather than now get into what could be a little bit time consuming on further amendments to this, it would be good to at least get this behind us, because the effect of this resolution is to eliminate 3 roll calls. And I think that a lot of people in the assembly would appreciate that. And we could put it in place starting, could we put it even in place this week? I don't know. I guess it has to be passed by the whole, it can't be. But at least it would get the May 6th meeting and have 3 fewer roll calls. And then these other potential changes could be considered at a subsequent meeting of this committee to consider some of these other amendments that are now being suggested. I'm just concerned out of time in making sure we at least get this done so people will feel better about fewer roll calls.
Okay. Anyone else?
Well, point of order again. We already have an amendment on the floor that has been seconded. That would have to be retracted. The second and the original would have to be retracted, so it could go back to the original business at hand.
Okay.
The second, I believe, was Doc O'Malley.
Well, no, because I never completed that. You raised a point of order there. So
Somebody seconded Dan's. I thought it was you.
oh, well, yes, on Dan's piece, yes. So
I would appreciate it if you would
Well,
retract that.
you
And
should
let's get
probably
back to
do
the
that,
business
Dan.
at hand and get on to our next meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Dan, do you want to do that?
So
Sure. I will, at the speaker's discretion, retract my motion to consider. I'm seeing a point of.
okay, thank you. And Doc was, excuse me, Delegate O'Malley, was it you that had the second on that?
I believe so.
Okay,
So I will second retracting it if that needs to be.
okay. Elizabeth, excuse me, Delegate Harder.
Even though we're the Government Affairs Committee, this still has to be voted on by the entire assembly, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So if we're going to vote on this on Wednesday, then we should be able to have the amendment about who gets to serve if the speaker and deputy speaker are missing. Then we could have that amendment ready by Wednesday, right? Dan, would that be okay?
Why not? Why not?
I'll defer to the speaker on if she wants to see that amendment there, or if we can take it up
I think
separately.
that I think at this point, to make it cleaner, Delegate Killian has pointed out he'd like to look at what was said in the meeting that you and Delegate Gessen already have referenced. And I think that's a good idea because there were several delegates who did have certain objections at that time. I don't recall whether anything was moved at that time. So I think that that's a good thing to do. And it's an easy enough thing to meet on for 5 minutes and vote that in at another time. But I don't want to extend this meeting longer than the time we have allotted, since there is a large meeting, a large agenda item coming up on the Finance Committee that I don't want to take time from. So would that be agreeable to everyone?
Agreeable.
Okay. Clerk Fletcher?
Oh, I think I'm good now, except now you've got a motion on the floor for a recommendation to the full assembly on just what you have in front of you. So that's yeah.
I will
Is it-
second that if it has not been
It
seconded.
has been. I think there's a motion to second on the floor for a
Great, thank you.
recommendation
Okay.
on this as it has been submitted.
Is there any further discussion on that? No, then Clerk Fletcher, could we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Oh man, I've lost my list. I'm just gonna have to go around the horn. Delegate Gasson,
Yes.
Delegate Green,
Yes.
Delegate Harder,
Yes.
Delegate Killian,
Yes.
Delegate O'Malley,
Yes.
Dean Omen,
Yes,
Speaker Warner.
Yes.
That's 7. That's everybody, Madam Speaker.
Delegate Killian, did you have your hand up that? You're okay? Okay, good. If we have nothing else, can I have a call for adjournment? And
So
we're giving
moved.
you 5 minutes more.
So moved. Move to adjourn.
Second.
Do we have a second?
Okay. Would you like a roll call, Madam Speaker?
Yes, please.
All right. Delegate Gasson,
Yes.
Delegate Green,
Yes.
Delegate Harder,
Yes.
Delegate Killian,
Yes.
Delegate O'Malley,
Yes.
Dean Omen,
yes.
Speaker Warner.
Yes.
That's everybody, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for pulling together so quickly. And good luck at the next meeting.
All right. Take care.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.